a few years back, it relates to vision. I thought it'd be really cool to go to the Lamborghini dealership because I've always wanted to own one of the Lamborghinis. So at the time, I was sharing a car with my girlfriend, and it was this Mustang that something had broke inside of it, and I was like really saving my money up to buy a nice car. We didn't want to fix it quite yet. This was in Las Vegas, and it was about 110 degrees. It would have this problem that sometimes it would overheat, and it would just like completely shut down, and we actually had to pour water into like the radiator area. I'm not a car expert, so. Well, but I had to pour water into this spot, and somewhere there's a hood, and then it would start back, right? So we would keep these like gallon jugs of water in the back seat. So we're driving to the Lamborghini dealership, and boy, it all of a sudden starts getting really hot, but we make it there. And I walk in, and I'm talking to the dealer in there, and the sales representative, and I'm telling him about how I'd love to purchase these one day. And you know, I'm on the younger side for someone in that room. And it was a younger salesperson. The older one didn't really give me too much attention, probably thought, you know, well, who is this guy with this crazy hair? So he shows me all the Lamborghinis, and I'm so excited. And then I go to leave and get back in the car. My girlfriend and I, you have to imagine this, the dealership had glass windows, and you could see inside the sales rep. I back up the car 15 feet, within feet of the window, and the car goes. So here I am, 110 degrees, just outside the dealership, and I said, I'm gonna get one of these, and I have to get jugs of water, open the hood, and I'm out here dumping water into it to cool it off. So now, fast forward a few years later, though, I went back there, and I drove to the Lamborghini dealership, and I actually drove up in a car that's faster than a Lamborghini, and better than a Lamborghini. So you can actually accomplish whatever it is that you're going for if you have the right vision, and you're going to have some awkward and really silly moments along the way, but I just share that story with you because it's funny, and if you're laughing, you learn more, right? Okay, so let's get into some of the exciting stuff that I'm going to teach you and share with you today. So the opportunity that you have here is just unparalleled in the industry. I mean, I'll take you back to my background. You got to remember something, that the expert was once a beginner at some point, okay? So as you look at me, just remember, I was not an expert, born into being a social media expert or in network marketing. My first company I did really poorly in. You probably wouldn't have sponsored me. I was not a very good distributor, but I got better, and I got better as time went on. And the thing you'll see here with youngevity is you got the most awesome opportunity. You got social media. One of the early companies that I actually did was I sold knives. And I got to tell you, it is a heck of a lot easier to sell nutrition than what youngevity has with all the products than it is to sell knives. True story. I was with a customer one time, and I was doing a demonstration with the knife at their house, and they actually cut me with this long knife on my hand, really bad. But I was like so embarrassed that I didn't want them to notice that they had done this because she was super sweet. So I put my hand in my pocket. And I just continued on the rest of the 45 minutes talking about everything and bought everything. And then when I went to leave, she looks and I've got blood everywhere. And she goes, what happened? And I go, I didn't want to tell you, but like an hour ago you cut me. So, this is a lot easier. Your opportunity is easier. Look, the other thing also to understand as well, if you're in here and you're really not gotten going on social media yet, understand this. You are not late to the ball game. People in network marketing sometimes will come up to you and say, oh, you got to jump on this new opportunity that I got, this brand new company. We're on the ground floor, and you have to get into the ground floor to make money. That is not true at all. What you need is strong leadership, like Steve and Michelle and everybody else that is in this company, and you want that. And so if you are not going great on Facebook right now or any other social media, don't worry about it. You're not late to the ball game. If anything, you can learn from the other people, and the platform's that much larger. So if you are worried or anxious starting today, don't be. So the reason why I'm going to focus the beginning of the presentation on Facebook is that Facebook really has a lot of power in how you can transfer that enthusiasm you have for the youngevity products to your customers. Because years ago, very few people said Facebook influenced their decision to buy, and now it's an enormous amount of people. I would say it's probably even higher than 78%. Would you guys agree? I mean, gosh, when your friend buys something, you see it, and they're your good friend, or if you saw Michelle watch something, you're all of a sudden probably thinking, I want to buy this now too. So today I'm going to share with you 21 insider secrets for social media success. Now, some of these things are very expert, some of them are very basic, but they're all very cool, I'll tell you that. And you're going to really, really enjoy them. The first thing I want you to write down in your notes is the phrase, "What's my story?" Because this pertains to how you're going to sell yourself offline and online. One of the most powerful things I learned early on that changed my success in network marketing, and especially my marketing on social media, was how to share my story in an effective way. There is a really powerful way that you can share your story, and it's this. 3 steps: before, after, and bridge. This is how your story should be shared online and offline. Before, here's your world. After, imagine what it'd be like having the problem solved. And the third one is the bridge, which is here's how to get there. Also, one of the things you'll notice about my presentation is that I have a lot of text, and different things that you can write down if you want to write them down, or if you want, just go to the bottom on each slide, and I've given you an example or a takeaway that might be more powerful and more important for you. So here's an example, though, that I might say to somebody in person or online. If you struggle with energy like I did before, think of a time in your life you used to wake up with a lot of energy. That's how I help people. Because people always come up to you, or maybe you're in an elevator, and the person says, "Oh, what do you do?" And you look up and you see, wow, they're on floor 27. Bingo! I got 27 floors to be able to tell them all about what I do. But that's not what you want to do. In social media, it's all about curiosity. I would write this down. The person who creates the most curiosity does the best on social media. It's not about giving away the whole story. You will see people on social media go wrong by putting too much information out. What you should really do is put out small amounts of information. Make it interesting for people, intriguing for people. But I would definitely write down that example, because I think that's one of, and you can change it a little bit, adjust it to like your voice, how you think it would go over well with your people. But I love that. Michael Burnoff taught me that. He's a master of communication. We're in the business of helping people. We're in the business of inspiring people. We help people believe that there is a better way. We help them realize that they just found it. And then we help them take a step in that direction. Okay, if you need all this written down, don't worry. Please, trust me, on the right-hand side of your page, I want you to be writing down how you're going to apply these different things. Make sure that your enthusiasm on social media transfers to people. Okay, and I'm going to explain something to you. In my book, I write about something called the law of 50%. And it's basically like this. Whatever enthusiasm you have that you're trying to share to somebody else, they're usually only going to feel at about 50% of that, especially through social media. Because whenever you don't put smiley faces and exclamations and things like that, a lot of times it's lost in translation. So make sure people can feel your enthusiasm. A good tip is to use emojis on your posts. It's a really, really good tip. Add the thumbs up, add the smiley face, the super smiley face. All those things make a huge difference in the results of your posts. Okay, so this is a really, really, really important one. At this point, when I would leave here, one of the first things that I would do is I would write my story. I would make sure that my story is written perfectly clear. And then here's what I would do with it. I would take my story and I'd break it into mini stories. Have you guys seen on Facebook, sometimes people will write these long novels in the newsfeed that basically tells you everything that happened awesome for them in the last 30 years and everything else, right? Now, most people don't read those. Yeah. Most people don't read all of those. But even if they did, that's not the point. What the point is they missed an opportunity to have 20 awesome, small mini stories on social media that would have connected with different people that are suffering or going through similar things. So like if you got your energy back and all these other different things happen to you, what you should do in your story though is break those up into mini stories and share those throughout the month. Share those throughout the year. Because you'll notice that they'll get so much more response when they're very short. Facebook does not like super, super long posts, so forget about writing those, okay guys? So with that, I think we're done here.
We missed it?
We're done, right? So my point is this. Do you guys want more? Yes. What do you want people to do? You want to leave them wanting what? More. So just like in the way you phrase stuff on social media, always ask yourself, am I giving it all away whenever I just stated what I did on social media? You want to, you ever seen those commercials before? Those ones that like come on and they're like only a few seconds of the commercial and then they go away? Those are actually on purpose many times because what they do is they leave you wanting more. You only saw like 3 seconds and you're like, oh wait a minute, what happened there? And they sell that sometimes to fill up slots. So they're teasers, yeah, and that's how you want to build your social media. So get to the point where you're just putting out little teasers about how, like I might say something like, on a Monday morning, I might say something like, wow, I remember I used to hate Mondays, now I love them so much. Or I might say something like, I can't believe I played 2 hours with my kids and I still have energy. I can't remember the last time I have more energy than my kids, exclamation point. I don't have kids, so I know my girlfriend's watching this and she's probably like, oh wait, what is he talking about? What do I not know? But do you see how you can actually say very interesting stuff that would then get everybody to say, wow, that's so cool. Now that's 10 times better than you saying a post like, I took my Beyond Tangy Tangerine today. It has 90 vitamins and minerals. And let me just list to you the nutritional fact panel on here because if you know all about the contents of the ingredients, I'm sure that you're going to want to buy it. No, because what people really want is they want more energy, they want more time. You might say something like, I used to have to drink 6 cups of coffee to get going in the morning. Now it's amazing. 15 years older, 20 years older, and I have as much energy as I used to when I was 20 or 30. Now that's interesting to people. You guys starting to see how, it's not that you're doing it wrong. I want you to all understand. I don't want you to have a freak out and say, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I've been doing it all wrong. No, you haven't been doing it wrong. There's just a better way. Okay, there's always a little bit of a better way to do something. Now, as you're meeting people out and about, and you're meeting people online, there's a couple of different ways you can follow up that I'm going to share with you that are very, very powerful. Now, we all have collected business cards in the past, right? You know, you go to trade shows or if you go out and about, and how many of you have any business cards just laying around at home? You're like, oh man, I got that stack, they're in my purse, they're in my wallet, they're in my pockets, and in my briefcase, and you have all these business cards. There is something you can use called Evernote, which allows you to scan from your phone the business card, and then it automatically imports all of this stuff from the business card directly into a folder. And then it has all the contact information synced with like your social media, and you can reach out to that person. It's a fantastic, fantastic tool for your social media follow-up. So it's called evernote.com. Here's the other one, reportative.com. Now this one is very, very cool. How this one works is you simply take the person's name and email and you put that on Reportative, which is synced to your email address, and it'll automatically find all the social networks that the person belongs to, and when you go to type that person an email, it'll actually show the person's Twitter, their Facebook, their LinkedIn, all of that right on the side of your email. Now it works with Gmail, so Gmail's free to sign up with. And this is a free service, but it's really cool because what's nice about that is when you go to type the person a follow-up email, you can actually see now that they have like a Twitter account or something. You can click that, and they may say that they're a fan of, I don't know, the San Diego Padres. And you say, oh my gosh, you're a fan of the San Diego Padres. That's so cool, me too. Or whatever you might see that you have in common with them. And that breaks down that barrier of awkwardness when you're trying to like build that rapport with that person right from the beginning. That's why they call it Reportative. You guys like that tool? Yeah. Again, on the right-hand side of your page, in the top right corner, I would write ROA. And I would always remember this, return on activity. Please don't think that if you spend hours on end on social media, that you're automatically going to get results. Because what really matters is what you're spending your time on, and that you're getting results from those things that you're doing. So that's why I call it return on activity. What I would do living here is I would create a daily activity checklist. And I would start off with something super simple. I would come up with maybe 3 things that I want to do each day. That is maybe write a morning post, write an evening post, and maybe hop on Twitter and check it out, or go check out other people's profiles just to see how they're having success. But I would just come up with like 2 or 3 things that from this meeting when you leave, that you begin to do starting immediately today or tomorrow. Publishing content should always be fun, never stressful. That's really the takeaway of this slide. You should just write, publishing content should be fun, never stressful. I'm going to share with you in a few slides forward some places that you can get great content. If you're thinking, well, I don't even know what content to publish, I got that solved for you too, okay? Also, become a master at one instead of trying to be good at just every one of them. It is much better to become an expert at one. Like Michelle was saying, people are always approaching and saying, oh, this new social network is the next greatest thing. You have to hop on it and you have to do it. I remember when Google Plus came out, and I was like, oh, I am so not going to put a bunch of effort into that for us, because I until it proves that it's going to be as big as Facebook, it's not worth it. So please don't try to like learn everything. People always come up to me and they say, well, I want to learn this and I want to learn this. And I say, well, which one have you mastered? And then they usually look at me and they go, well, I haven't mastered any of them yet, but I want to work on them all. No, please. If your thing is going to be Snapchat, all the power to you. But I'm going to tell you this, if it's going to be your thing, then study it. Like buy the books on it, learn everything that you can on it, and become so good at Snapchat. If it's going to be Instagram or Twitter, or if it's going to be Facebook, just stick with the one. I promise you. That's how we built our social media strategy at the company. Instead of trying to do all of them terrific at once, our main focus at the beginning was let's do Facebook really well. And I'd probably recommend that for every one of you guys in here, unless you just have some kind of fire under you to start, Snapchat or Instagram or something. Okay, so like you mean where you post to all things? Well, I think what she's asking is this. There are services that allow you to write a post on, say, your Facebook or your Twitter or wherever, and then it actually post on those other networks at the same time. I feel like okay about those, but I don't feel super strongly that they're a great way to build rapport with people, because I think each one of those networks has their own touch and feel to them. And I think that, something you might say on Facebook, you might get cut off on Twitter because you only have 140 characters. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like it's probably the best way to go. I think it's better just to focus on one, get really good at it, and then learn the way that the voice needs to be said on those other networks. Good question, though. Focus on what's big now. Please don't get sidetracked with all the little small networks. I remember Periscope, and then there was Vine, and they just shut Vine down.
Yeah.
I mean, please don't try to get excited. If somebody comes to you and says, no, you have to be on this, Snapchat is fine and everything, but don't put your time into it.
It's gonna get shut down too. Snapchat's.
Exactly. Here's another tip I would write on the right-hand side of your notes, which would be create a buddy system. So when I first started to try to get into social media marketing, I was doing my network marketing business, I did it all on my own early on, and I didn't do it very well. But then I ended up making a friend who became like a business partner of sorts, and so we worked on projects together. And what I would encourage all of you in here to do, you probably came to this convention with somebody, or you have a teammate, and if you don't have that at all, just pair up with somebody in this room that looks interesting to you, that you want to pair up with, and have them be your buddy system. Because what you can do is you can share ideas that work for you. Like once a week you can talk by phone, or every few days, or however often you need, and just share what's working with you. They might be able to share, wow, I put up this post, it went over so great. Then you can share, I tried this and it worked so great. Two heads always create so much more of an impact than one. Because I always say that what's already up in your head you already know. So you might as well try to find what's in somebody else's head. So get a buddy for your social media, especially coming out of this. Maybe what you should do is take the notes from this, share them with somebody so you can teach them what you learned from this, which helps them on your team, which is a good idea. And then from that point forward, you guys can be buddies sharing what works. That's a really powerful thing. But Jim Rohn used to always say that if you share something 10 times, it's great for the people that hear it because they got to hear it once. But it's really powerful for you because you got to hear it 10 times. You teach the notes from here, you're going to become the expert that they come to. Always ask yourself, what is my audience like? Define their needs before yours. I know sometimes people will say, I put up this quote and I really loved this quote, and I don't know why it didn't go over well. Well, it's like because people really don't care what you liked. Well, they care about what they liked. They really are interested in like what gets them excited. So why I bring this up now is, what does my audience like? I'm going to show you some resources, some places you can go to get content that most likely your audience really, really loves. Health and wellness and healthy recipes and those things. Don't try to recreate the wheel. So when I was a kid, we had a little John boat, a little tiny rowboat, and my cousin used to come over and we'd go fishing. Now this is crazy because my cousin was, I don't know, probably 14 or 15, and I was only probably about 10 or so. But my parents would just say, okay, you guys go out in the boat. And so we'd go rowing out in the boat, like out in the middle of the lake and all by ourselves. I mean, of course, we would never think of doing that now. That's like crazy, right? But we would just go out there as like 10, 14, 15-year-olds. And I'll never forget, we'd always have to be back at a certain time, though, like 6 o'clock, way before it was getting dark. And we would go out to this bridge way, way, way far away, and then we'd fish. And we had really pushed our luck as far as how close we were going to make it back in time, like, all teenagers do, right, when there's a cutoff. And I'll never forget, he was like, man, we're going to have to oar really fast. Well, there's only one set of oars, and he had oared out there. And so he was like, you're going to have to row back. So I was like, oh, man, we better hurry. So, I am going fast as I can. I'm breaking a sweat. I'm putting all my muscle into it, and we're like barely moving, but we finally get back, and it takes, we're late. And he is just laughing and just laughing and just laughing. And you know why he was laughing? Because the whole darn time back, he had put the anchor down. So the reason I share that is that before you get into massive action, just check to make sure your anchor's not down. Like, when we first started with Youngevity, I remember one of the things I did with Michelle was we looked at every other company out there in network marketing and out of network marketing to see what they were doing really well, because we wanted to study what worked really well, and then we could figure some stuff out. So try to learn from experts, try to learn from what works out there. If you have people that you follow that get tons of likes and comments and all that, kind of just take a look at the posts and see why they went over so well before you start trying to row with your anchor down. Provide value. Patience is a virtue on social media. Don't expect immediate results right off the bat. I mean, it's like somebody who has gained weight over 20 or 30 years, and then you come along and you offer them a product, and you don't expect them to miraculously the next day or the next week, lose everything that they gained or have total health turnaround. It takes a little bit of time. So just remember that when you're starting this. Don't give up. Don't say, well, I don't know how my results are coming in. Just apply it a little bit every day. Consistency is the key. Stop sounding like a sales brochure. What was my experience with X? So think of it like this. What comes to mind, because we all have visual pictures when we hear words. What comes to mind when I say car salesman? What comes to mind when I say sitting in a brand new car? Exactly, that's a good feeling. You think of the smell, you think of everything just perfect. Just remember, on your social media, don't try to sell all the technical stuff of the product. Please, I see this all the time. People posting the nutritional panel of BTT, and that sort of stuff. Don't do that, because you know why? People don't care about that. What they care about is what it did for you, how it made you feel, or how it could make them feel. Always remember that when you go to post. Don't get caught up in it, I promise you. The other thing I remember when I built my teams in network marketing was the more technical I got, guess what? The more technical questions that I got from everybody. It is a vicious cycle that you do not want to create. The experience is something that's way easier to sell. Now the other thing is too, you don't have to make crazy health claims. Please don't do that on your social media. You don't have to say it cured this because that's not what people want. What they want is a lot of times just a little bit more energy, or they want to feel a little bit better, or they want to be able to focus just a little bit more. Because when you say those like claims, and even if they really truly happen as a personal experience for you or someone you know, that's not the point. Because you're going to have people that are going to dispute that, then they're going to go back and forth with you, and it just creates like an over expectation of what should happen if that person goes to try the product. I mean, if you can tell them, hey, if you can get started on this, you might steal a little bit more energy, you might feel a little bit better. What happens if it's better than that? It's awesome, right? It's always better to under-promise. So when you write your posts on social media, specifically Facebook, always remember that the world has been reduced to headlines. Your first sentence is the most important. Specifically, the fact that people on the news feed, they're just ready to like scroll down and see the next story in the news feed. They really actually want to see that first headline. So that's again why it's really good to create very short posts that are very powerful. Just got done playing with the kids for 2 hours. I can't believe I have more energy than them! Exclamation point. Now, who in here thinks that that would get a response from somebody saying, how did you get that much energy that you have more energy than your kids? I can't keep up with my kids. That's a fantastic way to create a lead on social media. People buy into you first before they buy into you. Again, that's why you just want to be authentic on social media. You don't have to be salesy, and I see it all the time. People doing it on social media, especially on Twitter and Instagram, they get super salesy and they get hyper about all these adjectives that they use and everything else. It's just crazy when they could simply say very short sentences that create curiosity for their followers. So I created what I did since last year. I went through all of your social media and I found examples of stuff that you guys have done. And I'm going to show them to you now. No, I'm only kidding. It's only Michelle's social media. Only kidding. So this is a social media post from somebody not in youngevity that I came across who was using the hashtag youngevity, and they're, again, not in our company.
Oh, this really upsets
That
me.
they put up a picture of pickles, and then they hashtagged our company and like 20 other companies. And this is their way of trying to do social media. What do you guys think about this way? Sucks, right? I mean, unless youngevity gets in the pickle business now, right? Do we have any pickle companies in mind? That is not the way to do it. Yeah, you can pickle now because you got spices, yes. And here was another somebody on Twitter who was, all they were doing was sending out the same message over and over and over again. And you'll see this all the time. People just repeat the same message, copy and paste, and then this person wasn't with youngevity. Again, they're just hashtagging our company. Please don't do that. It's such a turn off. Like, who in their right mind would want to join that type of a leader? No, that definitely don't want that. Now, like that last person was consistent, just don't be consistent like that person. Consistency is the key in your post. So what I'm going to recommend is that whenever you post online, make sure that you post consistently. It doesn't have to be 5 times a day. Here's what I'm going to recommend, that you post 1 to 2 times a day. 1 is fine if that's all you got, and I'd recommend posting that in the morning. And if you want to do 2, then do 2. Is that me? Okay, I didn't know. I thought I was heating up or something. I have to plug me back in. So be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. I was sporadically just kidding. Consistency is the key. So like 152 days ago, I wanted to start learning Spanish. So I downloaded an app that lets me do a Spanish lesson every single day. It takes me about 5 minutes. And I've now done it 152 days in a row. Now 5 minutes isn't a lot. But if you take 5 minutes and times 152 days, it comes out to somewhere around 12 and a half hours now. So by the end of this year, I'll have done over 24 hours of Spanish lessons. Consistency is the key. 62 days ago, I decided I'd start working out. And now I've done a workout 62 consecutive days in a row. Some days I was tired, I could only work out 10 or 15 minutes. But that's okay, consistency is the key, a little bit at a time. So with your social media, 1 post a day, 2 posts a day, whatever you want, but just do it every single day. Because there's a reason behind this. Facebook will begin to see that you're a person that your friends want to learn from and see, and by posting consistently, you'll get those consistent engagements. And what'll happen is you'll become a toothbrush for your audience. Now, I know when I wrote that, I was like, that is so profound. And then I showed it to my girlfriend, and she was like, that is weird. But I was like, I'm keeping it in there anyway. Because here's what I was trying to get the point across, is that it becomes something that they use daily, that they get information from daily, that just becomes something that's a part of their daily habit and their daily routine. Like every single day they log in, and then Facebook shows them what you've posted, and then they comment on it, they like on it, and it creates like this little perpetuating cycle that your friends are always engaging in your stuff. If you disappear for like a month and then you try to come back on, then Facebook will probably not show you to your friends until you've done that for a little while in a row. So try to be consistent. Even if it's something small, try to be consistent. Now, if you want to engage your fans more and you want to really increase the amount of interaction, use pictures in your social media posts. Facebook is really big on showing your post to your friends if it contains pictures. 53% more likes and 104% more comments on picture posts. So if you don't really use a lot of pictures, what I suggest is you start using pictures. Now, if you're sitting there going, okay, cool, well, what pictures? I'm going to show that to you in a second here, okay? Some good resource sections.
Photos.youngevity.com.
Youngevity.com.
Photos.youngevity.com.
Our master photographer over there. Nearly 30% of the cortex is made up of like being able to see pictures, and so it's super, super important. Visual is so much more important than any of the other senses. So just remember that when you see this picture, and then when you see this picture, when you see this picture, when you see this picture, which is going to stand out more in the news feed.
Colored one.
When you're scrolling down, that one's going to stand out. Now, I'll give you a tip. When you take pictures of the product, try to take pictures of the product up close so that it's like really nice. Don't take it far, far away on the counter. Also, here's another tip. If it doesn't look delicious or look amazing when you took a picture, don't post it. You know, I've seen people bless their heart. That's I'm from the South, that's what people say. Oh, bless their heart. I heard a comedian once, you know. Somebody, you see that baby and you go, oh, bless their heart. Bless that baby's heart. And you don't know what to say. So when someone says, oh, look at my baby, oh, bless their heart. But I do say that sometimes because somebody will post a picture of like a blender and they just made up a Slender Effects shape, TMR shape, and it's like oozing out of the sides, and it's like the countertop's all dirty, and it's like, you know, it doesn't look delicious. Like Michelle had said in Vegas, you know, at one time I was a food critic, and like food photography is so important. My girlfriend, she'll be like, oh, can we eat now? Because I'm like taking so many pictures of it. But just remember, try to take the pictures up close, try to make sure they look really nice. And there are some apps that I use, like one of them is called KitCam, KITCAM. You can write that on your right-hand side of your notes because that's like an actionable item. That is KitCam, KITCAM. And basically you can upload a photo and then you can enhance the colors and make it pop, and you can put, you know, and it's just one, like it's a button you just push, you know, it's not really complicated. You can use it, there's other ones too. Just find an app or whatever, you can make the photos look nicer, or use just one on your phone if you want. Facebook newsfeed is like real estate, focus on quality over quantity. Again, don't feel overwhelmed, like leaving here, you gotta start doing 5 posts a day. Just, if you do one really good one in the morning, then fantastic for you, because you'll get way more results than the person that's putting up 5 one day and then taking a week off. Make sense? Consistency is the key. So now I'm gonna start sharing with you some tips that'll help you to create content, get you better at your posts, and find better images to post as well. Here's one that you can use called canva.com. Now Canva basically allows you to find tons of photos based around any keyword that you put in. So you go there, and she's nodding her head. I think we have some people in here that may already use this website. You're nodding your head, you must use it. So you can go on there, you can type in nutrition or health, and you can find images that you can use that are free to use, that you're allowed to use. You know, that way you don't have to go on Google Images, and if you use an image off Google Images, it could be copyrighted, it could belong to somebody else, but you can use Canva to find great photos. You can also use something called Post Planner. This is a really cool tool to use, and here's why. Post Planner lets you find the pictures and posts that people have put up around the world that have become the most liked and shared that there are. Now, the reason why that's really cool for you is rather than going on your Facebook and trying to post stuff to see what might work, and you're like, well, this picture looks good to me, I wonder if it'll work. Going on here allows you to see one that maybe got 1,000 shares or 10,000 shares, and what that is that is proof that people really like that image. So what do you gotta do now? Just put it right back on your Facebook, because most likely your friends haven't ever seen that image. So here's a great way to find content that is super, super popular. And why do you want to find content like this? The power is in Facebook's, it's like algorithm is the best way to put it, is when you put up really popular stuff, and then your friends engage on that popular stuff by commenting, liking, sharing, what then happens is Facebook deems you as somebody who has valuable information. So when you put stuff up in the future, they're going to show you in the news feed. Did everybody here know what the news feed is? Right when you first log into your phone, they're going to start putting you up there at the top. It's kind of like when you go on Google and you're like the first, you'd be like the first search result on Google. That's pretty sweet, huh? Think about the power in that. You see, many of your friends, they don't even see your stuff up until this point. When you start doing these tips, you're going to begin to appear at the top of all of your friends' news feeds, which is going to result in tons of new leads for you guys. Repin.net is the last one that I have to
3 minutes.
Wow, 5 more?
Yes, but they already released it, but yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, well, repin.net is another tool that you can use. It'll actually show you like the most popular content in the world. Very, very powerful. Just remember, sell what you've got without selling what you've got. Always ask yourself the question, how can I sell the longevity product and the health and all this that it offers without actually always saying, take this product, take this product. So if you go on Repinned, or if you go on the different websites and you look up like healthy recipes, and you can share healthy recipes. Say that your friends start regarding you as somebody who is the queen or king of healthy recipes. Well, guess what? When you say, I've also got these nutritional products I take, they already trust you and they're already on board with taking them. The product becomes something really, really easy for you to sell. Every time you post something, just always ask, what would the world say about this post? I'm going to move to the next because I got 5 minutes left. I want to get to a couple other things. Do people thank me for this post? If you have a post that works really well, do not be afraid to reshare it. Go back and look at stuff that has gone over really well in the past for you. Don't be afraid to repost that, and here's why. A lot of times the first time you posted it, the people, all your friends didn't see it. Only a small percentage, maybe 5% ever even saw that post that was so awesome. And it doesn't have to be longevity or nutrition, it can just be anything, but it can help to get your social validation in the Facebook eyes back really up by posting stuff that's getting engaged a lot. So that's a good tip. The majority of all your interaction will happen the first 5 hours that you put a post up. So when people go on there and they make comments on your post, try to check back in that first 5 hours, if you can, and like and then re-comment back to those people. Because that's where the majority of the interaction is happening. And by commenting back to people, what you're doing is you're actually creating more comments in the Facebook post thread, which makes the post have what? More excitement to it, more a likability factor to it when your other friends see it. Also, please, I know in today's day and age, it is really tempting to post controversial stuff and stuff that might ruffle the feathers. But look, we're in the business of attracting people to us. If you have to think to yourself, should I post this? The answer is no. Just please don't go there. It's always easier just to come up with something else. Just work a little bit more to come up with something else. Because if you do those kind of posts, it's going to be like chasing cats. Have you guys ever tried to chase cats before? It's very, very hard. If you have cats, have you ever put out kibble before? And like you get every cat in the neighborhood. So what I'm teaching you today is try to make your social media so attractive to everyone that visits that it's like so easy and you just get leads coming to you. Be the attractive person. Get results without being offensive. And then this is probably the best thing to wrap up with. Never pass up free social media seminars, classes, courses, ability to learn more, okay? Because if you just want to get better at this, it's so super easy. You just have to study it. And you don't have to study it long, but there are some resources I'll share with you that you can simply go to. They're all free. All free. That's my favorite price. Socialquickstarter.com. You can go here and you can get, look at this, 18 sections on Facebook and how to do it well, 12 on Twitter, and all the other social networks. So if this was a good start for you and your mindset and how you want to start changing the way you word stuff, this will give you the technical stuff that you might be looking for. Any like small questions that you've had, just go on this website. Or you can go to this one. And again, if you don't have time to write it down or if you can't read it from the back, it's okay, because these will be in the PowerPoints. Or if you just type into Google HubSpot social media, it'll pull up. And you can also go to this one as well and get a diploma, basically. They offer like a little diploma, you know, if you are into achieving things, which I know all of you are in here. I think this is a really cool website. It'll teach you all about how to use Twitter, how to do social media marketing. And the last one I have for you here is gcflearnfree.org. And they have Twitter 101, Facebook 101, the basics of LinkedIn and Pinterest. This is pretty cool stuff, right? I mean, the crazy thing is that sometimes we just don't know that it's out there and available to us. I mean, like, right, before you found Youngevity, many of you might have thought, how am I going to start feeling better in life? And then you met Dr. Wallach and you started here. So the cool thing is, if you feel like you're frustrated with social media right now, that's okay, but don't feel like it for long. When you leave here, there's hope. Just know that all you have to do is just start opening your mind and learning a little bit, and just do a little bit every single day. And just remember that I was a beginner at one point as well too. So you can become an expert. Start teaching this stuff to your friends. I know I got to wrap it up, Michelle. I guess I just have to leave it on this. I don't know.
Thank you so much. I'll give him the two-tips. And your PowerPoint is on the USB that they can all get in the store. Awesome.
I guess I'm leaving them wanting one. So one of the best ways to increase your engagement is to give a command on the post. So you can say something like thumbs up if you agree, or high five if you think so too, or raise your hand if. Those work really great. I mean, raise your hand if you guys agree. People like commands because what it does is it just simplifies the process. People don't actually, sometimes when they see a good post, they don't actually think that they should like it because they see it's a great post and they keep scrolling on. So if you say something like if you agree, it would sure be nice to have way more energy like when we were 20 years old. Like if you agree, it sure would be nice to have more time to do the stuff we love. There you go. And then another key that you can do is give stuff away. You can give stuff away, and what I love so much about Youngevity is you have so many products that you can give away that don't cost you a lot of money. You can get like the little sample stick packs. You can use the hot chocolate packs. You can use little individual chocolates. But you can do a drawing or a giveaway. You can ask a question. Hey everybody, I would love to know, what is your greatest health challenge that you're working on right now? And then everybody that comments today, I'm going to do a drawing and I'm going to send you something that hopefully will make you feel more energy for your week. Or you can do something like, who needs chocolate? It's Friday. And then you could say, I'm going to do a drawing today and a few of my friends are going to get some chocolate mailed to them. You can mail them a piece of chocolate. It's a fantastic, very inexpensive way to have people try the product. And as you guys know, when people try our chocolate or they try really any of our products, they love it, you know, and it's just a great way to get started. I wish I could share more, but it's on the PowerPoint, you know, on the thumb drive. So at least I left you guys wanting more. Did you guys have fun? Did you like it? Awesome. So, have a book up here if anybody wants to buy it. I'll also be out there inside of the store today as well with it. So thank you guys very much.